Anyways, with 10.
All right,
Welcome back for another episode of BarTalk Podcast. This is a weird episode. I'm not with Tracy. I'm with her spirit.
I don't really know if I like this.
This feels really weird. I feel like I should be interviewing you, or you should be interviewing me.
We should have had questions.
Hold on. I've got to unplug this so I can close the door.
Okay. Can you hear me? Is this going off your laptop? Wait, are you at your mom's?
Yeah.
Oh, word. Okay. I was like, I know that fuzzy blanket. I've been sleeping on that fuzzy blanket for a couple of weeks now.
Yeah. Big Trey, big homeless.
Big Trey, big homeless.
Yeah.
Dude, how about what just happened? Let's talk about it.
That's exciting. Tracy is officially, she's officially homeless. She sold her house.
I'm now officially homeless. I was almost homeless about last week, and now as of today, I am officially homeless.
She's out.
No, but it's been good stuff. I ended up getting Big Trey got a little loud. Big Trey got a little aggravated. Things you can't. I mean, like I might as well not really talk about on here, but you know me, like Jersey Girl Trash, got to speak up somehow. So I got a little aggravated and started hooting and hollering, and then I got things pushed up so that way I can sign today. And I got a mobile notary. And I signed my life away, and I said bye. So I sold my house.
Good. Hell yeah. Ooh.
This happens with this now too.
This is amazing.
Yes. So what's been going on all week? I've been going.
I know. I feel like you should be telling me what's been going on because my week's been normal. I've just been working, doing computer shit, training people.
Is the gym really quiet without me?
I mean, I make up for it, I would think.
I actually, the guy that was the mobile notary, like you can't get away from this shit. The guy that was the mobile notary for me through Smith Thompson and Law or Shaw, whatever the hell the thing is, he comes on the live feed, like on the Zoom, and he was like, "Oh, big dog, woo woo. Hey, Rich." He was like, "Hey, weird question." He's like, "You work at Momentum?" And I was like, "Yes." And he's like, "Oh," he's like, "I definitely recognize you." He's like, "You do the social media, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah, can we just like get a move on here? Like, I don't need to be talking about work right now. I just need to sign my life away and sell this house." So I'm away, like hours away, and I still can't get away from this place.
No.
Yeah, whatever. But it's been good. I took my grandmother and my aunt to breakfast today.
Aww.
Yeah, very nice. Been doing some family time. My dad is like super stoked for me to be home. Like the first couple days that I was here, it was just like an emotional mess. Like all three of us, me, my mom, my dad, were just, I don't know. I came in when Big Trey comes in with emotions, it's like the family doesn't really know what to do because I'm normally like a rock. So it was just like kind of, I don't know. I was just going down a rabbit hole and trying to talk about a bunch of things, but it's been really nice to be here and be with my family for a week.
Have you found any clarity?
Yes, I have.
We'll talk about it.
Yeah. That we'll talk about it off camera, but definitely just have been able to kind of calm down, I think, is like the biggest thing.
What?
Like
calm down. I've been waiting for this moment our entire friendship.
Like the last 8 years.
All it took for Trey to calm down was a divorce, homelessness, a poor credit score.
I know. I know. I just went to my car to go get like a bunch of clothes because, I'm going to pick up another one of my aunts from the airport here in like an hour. And my mom was like, "Where are you going?" I was like, "Oh, I got to go to my car to get some clothes." And I was like, "All right." Sold one of them. Now we're on to the next one. I'm like, I can't be going back and forth for my car for a while. But even though I am going back and forth in my car for a while and I'm a little bit more zen in the space, and it doesn't feel like so bad. Like I honestly just thought that I was at a breaking point and that I've never been at before. I've had a lot of breaking points, but I was just kind of like at my absolute end. And I kind of was making some remarks here or there that weren't like too kind. I was being like very snippy, and I just like knew in myself that I was like, all right, Big Trey is like a volcano. and the volcano is about to erupt if like one more thing comes my way, and it's not going to be pretty. And so I told you and Alana, and I was like, I think now is my time to kind of split. And so I came at like a good time though. So it's been nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I know Big Trey's got to leave when every single time I talk to her, she's crying.
I know. I'm like,
every time I come over, every time we hang out, I'm like, I sit in my chair, I put on my therapy glasses. I'm like, just weep, bitch.
Just say something.
Just let yourself weep.
Today, I woke up and, my dad comes home from work because he works like an overnight shift. So the last couple nights he's come home and it's been early, like 4:00 in the morning, but I normally wake up by then because that's when I go to work. So like I'm awake and my dad's like, what the fuck are you doing? You're supposed to be sleeping, but I'll like go back to bed. And anyway, I've gotten really good sleep while I'm here, which hasn't happened in, I don't know, as you all know, like I don't sleep for shit. So I've been sleeping.
Why you don't sleep for shit? Because you were stressed as fuck. You were literally like didn't have any form of wind down routine. You were fucking all up in your head. You drank 25 cups of coffee. Your 25th was right before you went to sleep. And then you're like, why is my sleep routine poor?
Yeah, I was checking all the boxes to have poor sleep, but I'm getting good sleep here. And today when I woke up, like my dogs, Nero's like on the swing in my mom's porch. And my dad, he like looked at me today and he was like, wow, he's like, today's the first day that your eyes look clear. And I was like, thanks. And he's like, yeah, not gonna lie, the first day you came here, I was pretty fucking scared. He was like, you looked like shit. I was like, thanks, big dog. Sounds good.
Thanks, Dad.
Thanks, Dad. Sounds great.
Speaking of looking like shit, I feel like that kind of goes into what we want to talk about today, which is the confidence.
Dude, yeah. Did something happen where you wanted to talk about this?
Well, nothing really happened. I just feel like I always have struggled with confidence, and I think you recently have been struggling with confidence and defining like what it is, how to develop confidence, maybe our different definitions of what it is and how to develop it. Because I think I have a less self-lovey approach to confidence probably than you do.
Well, I mean, okay, like confidence, when you said that you were kind of talking more like body dysmorphia, she's just talking about like
all of it. I think
exterior.
No, I think well, because I think the internal reflects the exterior. So I think if you're internally feeling poor about yourself, it's going to reflect outward. And I think the if you're thinking badly about who you are as a person inside, then you're gonna also probably not think you look very good either.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I think it definitely comes hand in hand, especially like when you're in the fitness realm and you're a trainer. I feel like there's that really weird like line where you should feel really good about yourself at all times, and then when you're making an impact on other people and you don't, you like have that weird domino effect where you feel like it's now coming off on other people, and it just makes you feel worse and worse and worse. But I don't know, for me, I think that, I mean, we've talked about that I'm like really good at giving myself like a lot of grace, because I think that if I was to say something that I actually say something good about myself that I actually like, right? It would be that I can accept people for where they're at currently, but I also do that within myself. So like if I'm having a shitty day, I'm just like, okay, I'm just having a shitty day, right? Or like if I'm not eating right that day, or if I didn't like perform well, like normally I'd be like, okay, like it's just another day, and I'm a keep moving forward type of person. And I don't know if that's just like through experience or just like being around the type of people that I am and always being in a community and a part of a team, but it's definitely something that I have not been able to do recently. And so it was like, this has been the first time that I genuinely have not given myself grace for so long, that I realized that what I feel inside is so in line with how I look and how I feel outside. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like you think that because you think that inwardly you were so negative toward yourself that it reflected on your feelings of how you felt externally, or on your external appearance. Because I really feel, I think that you still look fine. I think you look like you looked tired and stressed. I'm saying, like, you looked physically, you looked fine.
Right.
But I think that you felt that you looked bad
Because of how you felt inside.
Yeah, I think that's always how it goes. I mean, we were talking too for a little bit before at the gym how for me anyways, I was so extraordinarily lean for so long that it became my normal.
Mm-hmm.
So when I started gaining a little bit of weight, it felt like I was big.
Mm-hmm.
When in
Which is
reality,
so not true.
no, I look.
You look great.
Objectively, I have abs. Like, I have abs.
Right.
But it's
right.
but I'm not like this teeny tiny frame of a human anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just not how. That's also not how I'm designed. I'm muscular. So
Mm-hmm.
I think part of it is accepting that sometimes what you're thinking is just genuinely not reality.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's where the body dysmorphia side of confidence comes in. To understand that it's like I might always have dysmorphic thoughts, and I just have to embrace that. I said to myself something one time that I tell myself all the time now, which is I'll genuinely never know what I look like.
Oh, yeah.
I'll genuinely never know what I look like, because I could legitimately in the morning wake up and be like, I feel like shit, I look like shit, whatever, blah, blah. And the end of the day, I'm like, my body looks so good. I look snatched. I'm like, I look the same.
Right. Well, you're your own worst critic, and everybody's going to tell you that you look great, and they can say it to you all day long, but you're never going to believe it. Right. You know, I think that's one of those things too. And I also think that people just, especially in the fitness space and the way that social media is, like, people forget that you're meant to fluctuate, especially like with seasons or what your training is. Like, you're not meant to be shredded all year round. Like, it's very unhealthy to be at a low body fat percentage all year round. And so sometimes when you put yourself to a specific standard, like, I don't know, in the extreme sense, like bikini competitors and, you know, weightlifters, whatever it is for competition, you get yourself to a point where you're exceeding your own expectations of what you could look like, that you're at the absolute best. And then once you get away from that, you're like, shit, well, I was already there once. So how can I be better than that? Because you always want to be better than what you were. Oh, Abigail, you good? Hold on. Did you hear it? Turn your microphone on and off. Oh, shit. I'm just going to be out here playing with my own things for now because I can't hear anything. Hold on. Try it again. What are you doing? Hold on. Are you on your phone or your computer? I can't hear you, bitch. Hold on. Let me see. Abigail's got to re-enter the studio because she's on her phone. All right, let's see. Hello? Yeah, you're good.
What the fuck? One phone call, like, it like creates the most amount of chaos. I don't know who this is, but this bitch from Milton, Florida really killed her vibe.
Dude, turn your phone on Do Not Disturb.
Well, now I'm scared.
Oh my God. Do you remember, dude, your thing is still off. Did somebody call you again? Turn your thing on Do Not Disturb, and you're going to have to exit the studio, and then you're going to have to come back. Yeah. Exit and come back. Y'all are going to have to stay with us because Abigail is absolutely computer illiterate. This is your first sense of seeing how computer illiterate Abigail actually is. Leave and come back. Okay, hello?
Am I back?
Yes.
I put myself on Do Not Disturb while whatever that chaos was.
Abigail has notifications silenced. How am I on Do Not Disturb and you're not? This is normally my problem.
I don't know. You were on a very deep topic about self-love, so continue. I don't know where you were exactly on the journey of that.
all I was going to say was that you put yourself at such a high standard. I think that people are like, oh, wow, I'm fucking Rip City. I got like 2% body fat. And then they think they're supposed to stay there forever. And as soon as they're not, it just like gives you such a warped expectation of like what your perfect actually is. And it just like, it ruins everything.
Well, because what I mean? Also, it's like, it's interesting because everybody seems to forget, including myself when I was really lean, how tired you felt, how hungry you were, how shitty your performance was on literally every other metric other than just your leanness. My hormones were fucked up, my body hurt, like my libido
not only that, but
was shot
about like enjoying life. Like you're not meant to be living all of eternity without having like a fucking donut and a piece of cake and some candy. Like it's life. As long as you're doing everything, you know, well to a certain point, like why are you not putting yourself in a position to not enjoy those things?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
As far as confidence goes in general, because to me, I found that a lot of my negative, my punishing behavior toward myself, it stems from like negative self-talk and lack of confidence. So, and growing up, like I kept asking people, well, you know, like, how are you so confident? What do you do to get so confident? I just don't feel that. I don't feel that way. And I found that confidence comes through, it's like trust and respect. It's built, you know? And so confidence is by doing the fucking work that makes you proud of yourself, right? Acting in accordance with who you want to be. And this has nothing to do with physique, by the way. This just, it has to do with like getting up, doing work, living with integrity, adhering to goals that you set, like making plans, achieve, like that's doing the plan, right? And when I do that, when I set myself up for success in that way, I show up for myself in that way by showing up for my clients, by eating well, by training hard, by saying I'm going to do something and doing it, being a good friend, being a good daughter, whatever it is. That is what makes me feel confident. And then that reflects externally to my body. And even if I have a day where I wake up and I'm like, I don't really like the way I look today, it has less of an effect because I know that I'm still doing all of these other things. I'm living for a different purpose, which is not how I look. It's what I'm doing with myself to help other people and the world around me. And that to me is what true confidence is. And so people were like, I don't have confidence. It's like, yeah, because you don't fucking do anything, or maybe you're an asshole, or maybe you're lazy, or maybe you're not achieving the things you want, or maybe you don't have a purpose in life, or you don't have a direction. And that in turn is going to cause problems cascading throughout life, which is like, I feel like shit, I look like shit, I'm going to have self-destructive behavior, I'm going to start treating other people like shit because I want them to feel like I feel.
It's that domino effect.
Yeah.
And I think too, like I want to read that thing, you know, the quote that I wrote yesterday. Well, actually it was this morning. I posted it like midnight, which like I don't really know why the fuck I did that.
Yeah, I saw it this morning and I was like, no wonder you have like 2 likes on the reel. Ain't nobody aware.
I know. And I don't know. I just like, I made it and it was in my drafts. And I was like, if I don't post this now, I'm going to lose the damn draft. And that's like one of the things that just pisses me off about Instagram is like, when you should never make things in Instagram. Just like super side note, don't ever make things in Instagram because it just ruins everything when you lose it. But anyway, I put it in Instagram and I was just like mega side note. I was like, I just have to post this now. But anyway, it was a quote that I saw and it said, if thinking about the month is too much, take the week. And if you can't fathom the week, take the day. And if the day isn't clear, take the hour. And that for me is like a huge thing about, I mean, like that speaks to my self-confidence too, because there's so much noise going on that you end up, like we talked about, like there's so much noise going on that you can't do anything at all because you don't even know what the fuck you're thinking about. And so it doesn't necessarily like make you lazy. It just makes you crumble. Like you're in this like house and the walls are too thick and they're coming in. And then all of a sudden you're just like, okay, well, I can't think about anything else that's happening outside of my eyesight. Like I have to think about what's happening right here, right now. And that is really scary because you're not able to do the small things that actually give you some sort of self-confidence. It doesn't even have to be like a big thing. Like the reason why my self-confidence crumbled was because I wasn't doing shit. Like I was going for a walk every single day, no matter how bad I felt, no matter how good I felt, I would just make it a point to get outside. I was journaling at minimum a couple times a week. I didn't journal for like a month. Like I wasn't doing things that I normally would do when I felt good. And when you need them the most is when you feel bad, because then you just get in that ripple effect where you're just like, well, I feel bad, so keep it coming. You know what I mean? And so it just gets worse and worse. And that totally like tanked my ship. I was just like so out of place for such a long time. And I read that and I was like, okay, I literally don't have to think about anything else except for what I'm doing like right now.
That
You know what I
quote
mean?
that I told you, it's my favorite quote. It's interesting. I've read The Alchemist. It's my favorite book. I've read it a few times, and every time I read the book, I get something different out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And that quote that I told you was one that I got the third time I read it, which is, remember, he was talking to the boy, the king. He said, remember, everything that you're dealing with is only one thing, and that is all.
Mm-hmm.
I never got it. I never picked up on it. I really didn't think much of it until that third time I read it. And it hit me so hard because I had been feeling similar to you, where I just felt these crazy, almost like OCD thought loops, hyperfixations, like very overwhelmed, stress. Everything felt like too much. It was the definition of what the woo woo people say, like I'm vibrating too high. I felt like I was vibrating too high.
Yeah.
And so, and what happens is you can't even get the, like, let me just do this one thing. I just have this one workout, and if I get nothing else done, I have the, like, you just treat it one thing at a time. I couldn't do that. And when I read that quote, it all felt, I just felt immediately more at peace, because it really does feel that way when you're sitting there in the moment. It allows you to be present and to continue regaining presence, which is I'm doing this one thing. I'm on a podcast with Tracy right now. Not that this is, oh, are you good? Your Wi-Fi is clicking.
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. My thing is, like, I'm on this podcast with Tracy right now, and that's what I'm doing. And then I'm gonna go to work, and that's what I'm doing. And then and not that this is anything inherently stressful, but when you're going through something really stressful and overwhelming, this could feel stressful.
Right.
I mean, a podcast could feel stressful.
Right.
I've been there where it's like, we've had it where we had to cancel a couple times because it's like, I just can't this week.
Like there's just too much going on and you can't even think enough to talk about it.
Yeah. It's a lot. And so to be able to reframe is really important, I think.
Yeah. Oh yeah, totally. And like I think that to live like more simply is also like something that's very scary for us, because we try to be such big picture people. Like we always want like the greater thing like in our eyesights, I feel like, for the both of us, because you want to be moving towards some sort of like bigger thing or business or idea or whatever it is that you want to be doing. But in all reality, like I don't ever think that anybody who has the best of it all is ever actually there yet. They're always still progressing no matter what. And so when you start to get yourself in this like headspace where you're like, well, I don't really know actually what I want, and it like just makes you second guess everything. And then that ruins your confidence because you feel like what you're doing is wrong.
Because, well, this is the thing, is you just said it. When you are not confident in yourself, you don't trust your own judgment.
Oh yeah.
And so
right,
you
100%.
can't make decisions, or you feel like you can't make decisions. And then when you feel like you can't make decisions, nothing gets done, which in turn makes you feel even less confident, and it continues to spiral.
Yeah.
So, and that's what was happening to you, is I would sit there and I could objectively zone out and be like, Tracy, this, logic, right? These are your things, and this is the option. And also, like, all of this is reversible. And in your mind, in your conversation, you were in a loop. Like, you're like, but, and you would say the same thing in a circle. Like, well, what about this and this and this? And I'm like, we just went over that.
We already made a decision.
But you couldn't, because it's in your brain, you're stuck. You literally have to disrupt the loop somehow. So I think it might be a good tool of, we'll talk about for you first, and then I can go into what helps me, but what helped you disrupt that loop, because there's probably people that are listening to this are like, okay, cool. Yeah. Confidence comes through like adhering to plans, doing things, like finding your purpose, whatever. And yeah, I gotta disrupt how the fuck do I disrupt the loop? If I'm there, how do I get out? So what helped you?
Well, I mean, first of all, I took myself, this is like a major step. I'm not saying that you have to do this, but I 100% took myself out of the environment, like, and not immediately, but I remember being like, I remember making a phone call, like after I had gone to my house and I was talking to Mac on the phone, and I already told you and Alana that I was going, like, leaving, but I was kind of like on the fence about it. Like, I knew I was going to go to my parents, but I was kind of on the fence about it. And I was just like, I don't feel like running away from something. Like, I feel like I should just keep moving forward. Like, who cares about all this shit? Like, it's going to be fine. Like, trying to put myself in a better mindset. And I was like, I'm such a person that doesn't like to live in a negative space. So I'm like, fuck it. Like, Big Trey's got this. We're just going to like power through. And I ended up having to go to my house and do for this like final walkthrough. And I literally had one of the worst panic attacks of my entire life. Like, when I couldn't even like put my hand on the door. Like, I sat in my driveway and was just absolutely sobbing, like pretty much seized up, could not breathe. And like, I've had anxiety attacks and panic attacks before, but this was like next level, and I just could not move. And so I ended up getting in my car, and then I was like, all right, I'm gonna try it again. And I tried it again, and I was like, all right, like now I know it's definitely time for me I got to split after this weekend. And I remember calling Mac, and because we were talking about the house, and I said those exact words. I was like, I just cannot trust myself right now. And like, the one thing that has to change is I have to take myself out of this environment completely, because just like the dark cloud of whatever was happening in that space wouldn't allow me to just like see the sunlight anywhere. Like, anywhere that I went just felt like a dark cloud. And so like, I couldn't even get in my car without feeling safe. And so I was like, I have to go to what makes me feel safe. And so I told him that, and I was like, all right, I'm going to leave tomorrow after went out for Denise's birthday. And then from there, like, obviously I talked out with my parents, but it was just like, after reading that quote and after talking to you about like just taking one thing at a time and talking to my parents about it, it's like, okay, all of the decisions just don't have to be made right now. And even though you say that over and over and over again, it's like, you could say that to somebody until they're blue in the face, but unless you actually sit there by yourself and you're like, what is the most important thing to me right now at this moment if I was to go nowhere? And that was selling my house. And I was like, okay, who gives a fuck about anything else? Like, I love all y'all. You're not going to leave me. My parents aren't going to leave me. My dogs are going to be right here. Everything is going to be just fine. But right now, I need to sell my house. And so I just like turned everything off. And like, I journaled about it, and I was like, okay, what are the things that I need to do about selling my house? Da da da, whatever. Big Trey got loud. Big Trey sold her house. Like, that's just, it's just, you have to take one thing at a time instead of doing everything at once for me. So, yeah, that's pretty much
I think that's great, because, and I don't even think that's necessarily a big step. I feel like sometimes what happens, honestly, is, at least for me, I would go to not necessarily what felt safe. I would go to what felt familiar.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing that was familiar often was still a very punishing, negative space and environment. And so for me, I couldn't really go to where what felt safe, because I would just go to what was familiar. I had to go somewhere different. I had to one, weirdly enough for me, I had to really get comfortable with the idea of growing pains. So I had to really differentiate the idea of just being in pain for the sake of being in pain, and then also understanding that, like, okay, well, Abigail, if you're good at one thing, it's suffering, and like right now you're in a place of unfamiliarity and uncertainty and hardship, and you feel really overwhelmed, and that's actually how you know that you're going somewhere and doing something new. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. Just because it's unfamiliar doesn't mean it's bad.
Mm-hmm.
So that helped me, for one. Also, the idea that I was moving away from somewhere I didn't want to be. Like, I didn't necessarily know where I was going. I still don't necessarily know where I'm going, but I know that I'm going away from where I don't want to be.
Right.
And for that, I was proud of myself. And that pride helped me to feel a sense of confidence. And then going somewhere physically, like you did, you went somewhere physically safe. I went somewhere physically different.
Mm-hmm.
I literally went out and I was like, I'm going to go to these trips. Just happened to be lined up at the time they were lined up, but it was really beneficial for me because I could go away for a week, work with a bunch of athletes, do what I like to do, and focus on that. And then when I wasn't doing that, I got to go on a trip to Austin, and I got to just experience a new city and a new place. And I had literally zero expectations. I was just like, it's not Tallahassee, Florida, and that means it's good, and I'm going there. And it ended up being really incredible. But for me, yeah, I couldn't go somewhere. I was like, I can't go somewhere that I know very well, which is usually to be by myself or to be with like my mom or whatever, because there were still unhealthy things there waiting for me.
It's funny because like the way that you deal with it is knowing firsthand exactly where you don't want to be.
Yeah.
And the way that I deal with it is the exact opposite, where I'm like, I know exactly where I need to be able
Yeah.
to figure it out.
Yeah.
I
And
guess
I
it
think
just
that's
depends on the
awesome.
person, you
Well, I
know?
think that's awesome. I think that the fact that you can have that sense of direction, I mean, if anything, that should help you in your future decision making skills, which is when you don't feel confident in your decision making, you know that you naturally are gravitate toward where you want to go, which is
Mhm.
cool. Because for
Mhm.
me, I don't think I've ever felt necessarily confident in my decision making, or I've always felt uncertain in, can I do it, and am I making the right choice, and I get analysis paralysis, and so I have gotten a lot of positive results from being like, what do I not want my life to look like? Where do I not want to see myself in 5 years? What if I wanted to destroy my business? How would I act? Like if
Right,
I want to have no friends, who would I be?
right.
And to do like to almost reverse psychology, my own life, it
Mhm.
helped me figure out, okay, well, this is what I don't want, and this is how I shouldn't act. So let me just do the opposite of that.
Yeah, yeah, right, right, right.
It's
And
worked out okay.
I mean, it's not okay so far. Everybody's just different. Like, it's just funny how you do that because, like, I remember one time you said to me, like, well, okay, instead of journaling about, like what's going on, like, journal about exactly what you don't want to happen. And I kind of like sat there and stared at the paper and I was like, I need to go to my parents. It's just like I was like, I can't do this. I don't know what the fuck I'm writing down. I just need to go to my parents. Like I just need to go to Spring Hill and go away from this dark cloud and figure the fuck out. And like I know everything's gonna be okay. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah, I got
But
that from Jordan Peterson. I was actually so Jordan Peterson, part of his self authoring program. He does a future authoring program, and it helps you kind of guide your future. And for me, I really like doing them, partially because I like to see how I've changed and where I want to go over the years, and then the things that I've stuck to. Have I actually met those goals?
mhm.
And the future authoring part of the program is write down the life that you don't want, and then after you write down the life that you do want, but like he always says, a lot of the time for people who are uncertain, unsure, a little bit neurotic and negative, like he's like, it really helps for them to write down the life that they don't want to create for themselves, because
Yeah.
then they can figure that out, and it helps them in the next prompt to just, okay, well, these are things I don't want, so the opposite is likely close to what I do want.
Right, right, right. And I think like all of this to say, like it does kind of tie into like the whole body dysmorphia thing only because I realize that when I'm such a mental mess, like I already have gut issues as it is, right? When I'm such a mental mess, my stress levels are just like through the fucking roof and it causes my stomach to rumble. You know what I'm saying? And your gut is like your second
Hold on,
brain.
is that me? I think you tripped out on me. Repeat what you just said.
I'm here. Are you
Causes your
here?
stomach to do what? Sorry.
To rumble, you know what I
Oh,
mean? And so like your gut is your second brain. And so like all day you'll see me and Abby will kind of like pushing on our stomachs because we're like, fuck, like we're stressed out, we're bloated, we gotta poop, something's happening here. And like all day we'll be like, oh my God, I'm so bloated. And somebody will be like, shut the hell up, you guys look great. And you
but
could
it's
tell
a
us that we
feeling.
look, yeah, we're like, you could tell us 75 times that we look great. I think I look like shit. I'm
I don't
like,
even,
I don't
and
think
to
I
me,
look good.
I don't even care how I look anymore. It's the point where I'm just like, I just don't want to feel this way. I could look
Yes.
exactly, because again, I am honestly at a point where I'm like, I have no idea what I look like, and that's fucking fine.
Yeah.
Somebody's gonna like the way I look. I don't
Yeah.
look that bad. I can't look that bad, like
Yeah.
because people hire me for training, so I can't look like shit that bad. So my next thing is, I just don't want to feel fucking bad. So you can
Right.
tell me I look good, but I feel like fucking shit right now.
Yes. Yes. Exactly. And it's just like, it just all ties together. Like when I'm at my worst mentally, my gut is also equally at its worst. And then just that's when the domino effect starts coming in. And that's when like the body dysmorphia of like, I could have had a killer run with my people on a Tuesday, Thursday morning. And I'm like, hauling ass, feel great, heart rate's where it's supposed to be, had an awesome breakfast. And then in about 3 hours, I'm like, huh, feel like a bloated whale right now. I can't do shit, you
Mm-hmm.
know? Actually, side note, with getting on track of things, my mom just bought me some probiotics.
Good.
Some probiotics and some multivitamins. So I'm going to start taking those bad boys too.
I have some things for you to take, that might be able to help you as well, that have helped me. But like if you can make in your, because you love oatmeal, put in your oatmeal like chia seed and blueberry and flaxseed and some kind like pecans.
Yeah.
I think all of that, the nutrients and the fibrousness, like nature of the food, will help too as well.
Yeah, I did chia yesterday. They were good. I did chia seed and oats and some peanut butter and like an overnight oat thing yesterday.
Yeah, that's perfect. And all of those things, even though I think a lot of people in the fitness space stray away from it because it's high calorie and like whatever, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, you guys, and James Mack talks about this too with a lot of his bikini competitors, because he'll give them concoctions like this, right? He's like, it might be a little higher calorie, but it's going to help with overall systemic inflammation and gut motility, which thus helps with bloat and the feeling of looking inflamed and big. So it's going to actually in turn help your physique. You might have 200 calories less of fucking snacks. Get over yourself. Control yourself. You're in like, it's like you choose to be in a deficit anyways.
Right.
Still, like, you might as well feel decent while you're in a fucking deficit.
So yeah, totally.
And I think for us, like when we're in that space and when you with you, like too, you'll be running around, we're running around during the day, we're just like grabbing snacks, we're grabbing food, we're drinking coffee, whatever. And then we wonder, it's like, why haven't I gone? Why can't I go? Why does my stomach hurt? We haven't had any actual legitimate nutrients. We've just had
no fiber. Right, exactly. This guy Snaz says, any tips for people who have bad acid reflux in the morning, night supplements, or easy breakfast? Hell,
don't drink. Okay, yes, because I do. Do not drink coffee first thing in the morning.
On an empty stomach.
Don't drink black coffee on an empty stomach. Don't drink black coffee either. Acid reflux food. Eat slow always for anybody with acid reflux at any time of the day.
Yeah. Smaller meals are better than big meals for acid reflux for sure. But I would say getting in something that's like of the little bit more fiber sort, especially in the morning, like the oats that we're talking about with chia seeds. I mean, like for me, anything that has to do with acid reflux, like I would stay away from fruits directly in the morning, like anything that's going to have like acid on top of acid, like don't drink juices, drink something like warm if you want it, but stay away from like the coffee, right? Like a lot of times whenever I would go to the doctor, they would tell me to drink like warm milk if I wanted something that was like thicker in the morning if I use shakes, but I don't really make shakes anymore because I stay away from fruits since it's just acid on top of acid. But oatmeal is a really good alternative. Even like a banana is a good alternative as well.
Well, but is that because it's not a berry, so it's not as bad?
Yeah, because it's not going to kill you. Like a lot of people, they wake up and they say they have like orange juice and apple juice is like one of the worst things to have directly in the morning, especially when you have acid reflux.
That's fairly.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I think it's just the citrus.
Yeah. And like also, especially like when you have, I don't know, like GERD or like I have a hiatal hernia or acid reflux or anything like that, even just throughout the day, anything that is spicy or like tomato, right? Like a shit ton of tomato sauce on like macaroni or anything like that isn't something that you actually want to have like throughout the day.
So I'm sorry, tomato sauce on macaroni?
Yeah. Pasta. Like
no, it's
gravy.
Okay, all fucking called. No, we don't do the
macaroni. It's not just elbows. Macaroni, yes, no. Pasta, get it right. Pasta is like
don't tell
spaghetti, linguine, whatever. Macaroni is like rigatoni, penne.
Bro, get the fuck out of here. No, that's so weird. Macaroni is macaroni, like, and cheese. Macaroni. Yes, it is. It's those noodles. And the freaking and then the fucking gravy is gravy that goes on mashed potatoes. It's the brown stuff. It is not this weird. It is not pasta. It's tomato sauce. Pasta sauce is pasta sauce. You're fucked up for that.
Gravy is one of those things that it depends on the sentence that you're using. If I'm saying I'm making macaroni and meatballs, you're making like penne with meatballs and red gravy. You're not going to put brown gravy on your meatballs.
It's not.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
This is how you're from Atlantic City, bitch. You're not from the South. You don't understand. Macaroni in the South is the elbows, and gravy in the South is only acceptable
It's
on
so
2
gross
things,
because I would
and
not
that's
say I'm
mashed
making.
potatoes and turkey.
I wouldn't say like I'm making pasta and meatballs. Who the fuck
Yes.
says that? No.
Any normal human being says
No, you're making like like when we have Sunday dinners, when I get my house and we have Sunday dinners, it's macaroni and meatballs, bitch.
I won't attend. That's weird. I won't attend.
Macaroni and meatballs all day. Or like you make chicken cutlets and macaroni. It's not chicken cutlets with pasta. Who says that?
Yes, it is. Everybody else in the world, everybody else that exists says I'm making sauce and pasta. I'm making pasta and meatballs. I'm making like it's pasta, spaghetti, pasta. Like
I don't agree. No, I disagree.
Unless you're making legitimately macaroni and meatballs, which is a weird meal, and I wouldn't go and eat that. Actually, that could be good. But
macaroni and meatballs sounds really fucking good. Like
mac and cheese and meatballs actually does sound pretty
Isn't
good.
that a thing you see when you were a kid, like one of them Stouffer's meals?
The hamburger helpers.
Yeah.
But that is
that's a college food right there.
Or that's the bow ties. The hamburger helpers was like bow ties often.
Bow ties is macaroni.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is totally.
No.
I've been around my grandmother and my aunt. This morning they actually asked when we were at breakfast. They were like, "Who taught you how to cook so well?" And I literally looked at my nana and I was like, "You?" And she's like, "Well, I don't cook anymore." So I guess I have to cook for them now, which I haven't since I've been here, which is crazy.
Wow, y'all.
Because normally I come here and we cook. No, we haven't. We had pork chops and salmon, but my parents have been cooking this whole time. I took the week off. I was like, I normally come down here and I have to cook for the holidays. And so now I was like, I'm not doing shit. You tell me where to go and tell me what I got to do. The only way that I drew the line this week is that my parents were making pork chops and they wanted to make mashed potatoes. And they had the bags of the like instant mashed potatoes. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And I was like, this is where we draw the line. I'm going to fucking Publix and go and get it like real mashed potatoes and some vegetables because we're not doing this powdered shit. That's not real. I won't do that. Not to get like all Jersey as fuck, but I ain't doing that.
That's not real.
That's not real. We're not doing that. And so I went out and I made the potatoes and the veggies, and that's about it. That's all I've done all week.
That's good.
Yeah.
I am like so simple with my meals, dude. I literally just stab a bunch of potatoes and I heat them up in the microwave. So I still have the stab wound.
Oh, dude. Speaking of acid reflux, though, that's a really good way to see like what you're actually sensitive to is like getting yourself on a diet where you eat almost the same thing every day, something that's super bland, not a lot of spices, not a lot of sauces, stuff like that. And then just introducing small things into your diet to know what you actually can handle. Like one of the things that I know Abigail does this too, but the more aged the cheese, the less lactose is actually in the cheese. And so you'll have a less of a reaction to, let's say, like feta, goat, brie, things of that nature instead of having like American cheese. Sometimes cheddar can be that way. So if you have just like stomach problems going on, big tip from Big Trays, like start super bland and then introduce some small things along the way so that way you're not killing yourself.
Yeah, cheese doesn't really do. I found it doesn't really do too much to me, like any cheese. It's more, it makes me get mucus. So when I go do my training sessions the next day or second day, I'll find that it's harder for me to breathe and clear my throat. I'll get I'll get mucus and I'll have to blow my nose a bunch, and then my training sessions get fucked up. So that's usually why I stay away from dairy.
Really?
Yeah.
I am a big goat and feta cheese person.
Love.
Goat cheese and feta cheese is my go-to. Yeah. And like what we make for the cauliflower gnocchis and pesto, we do cauliflower gnocchis, pesto, chicken sausage, Parmesan. Well, I've been putting goat in it recently and tomatoes and spinach. And that's like
good
money. You can prep that stuff. You can have it for a couple days.
Good.
I know. I hope your mom doesn't want to kill me. I'm going to end up taking over her house for the next like 3 weeks.
I don't think she wants to kill you as long as you help her start her podcast. I think she'll find you.
Oh, yeah. Where is she doing that? Shout out to Abigail's mom. She's starting a podcast.
Yeah. She's finally starting it. My mom, my mom don't give a fuck.
I know.
So,
Well, she doesn't really know. I think she wants to try to get on the StreamYard thing so that way she can be able to like interview certain people or like have like an online stream where it's live and be able to post at the same time. What's your mom going to talk about? Do you know?
I don't know. I think just life stuff, little tips,
Cool.
questions, Q&As, little short segments.
Cool.
But I don't know how to wrap this up. I think it's just understand you never know what you look like. Do things that earn respect for yourself, and do things that maybe don't necessarily have anything to do with you, so you can live a higher purpose. And then you won't focus so much on your body. And I think that because you won't be so focused on it, it'll start looking better because you'll start doing things that are healthy for you in the world.
Plus, everybody always looks hot anyway. Don't worry about it too much.
No, not everyone looks hot. We're not.
I was trying to throw some positivity out there, Abigail. Trying.
Have you seen these people out here in the streets?
We'll try to do something. Do something crazy, and then you look hot.
No.
Do something crazy. Do something crazy.
Green hair.
Proud of you, Alana.
Oh, okay. We're talking to Alana.
Yeah, she said proud of these mids. Mid but breedable, baby. Stay mid but breedable. All right, Abigail, I'm gonna call you real quick when this is done. Bro, what is happening with this?
Wait, why is there?
Oh shit! Oh, it's a party. It's a party.
All right, so I'm gonna leave because I have to start heading to work, and then you're gonna call me, and then all of you people are gonna watch this and share it with all of your friends. You're gonna like it and comment and subscribe because you guys love us, right? Right.
Yeah. All right, love you guys.
Strobe lights. Bye, guys.
Bye.
See you next week.